Welcome back. It's always a good day here on WTOL 11.
Yes, and it is said a happy life is made up of three things: something to do, something to look forward to, and someone to love. But in the 21st century, that last one, it might be a little difficult.
Yeah, I get that. But Good Day might be able to help. Dr. Andrea of Bright Spot Families in Bowling Green is here with how to go about dating in the 21st century. Good morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, so many times I have some friends, some single friends who are like talking about Hinge, talking about, you know, all those dating apps.
Yes.
And it does seem exhausting.
Yeah. It's a full-time job. So I actually met my husband on eHarmony like 13 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it's a full-time job, like going through all of your matches and like weeding them out and finding who's compatible with you versus not compatible. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I think within the last 3 weeks, I've seen like even more dating apps coming out. I saw like a dating app specifically for single parents, a dating app specifically for African Americans, another one for Latinos and Latinas, and they're like, so many dating apps are coming out with very specific niches.
What was it? Farmers Only? I remember that one.
Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, but now there's another one. I think it's like Upward or something for Christian singles. Yeah.
There's a lot out there to navigate, that's for sure.
And not only do you have the dating apps, but then you have the real world when you're out with your friends, maybe you're at a bar. So the number one question, do pickup lines really work?
I think they work if you are attracted to the other person. So in the course, in the mini courses that I just taught on this past Sunday, we covered attraction. And so it's like, I think they work if you are attracted to that person, and our attraction is going to, we decide within less than a second.
Absolutely.
It's like instantaneous. And so if you're attracted to that person, I think you're going to find it endearing, you're going to find it cute, you're going to be pulled in, you're going to be attracted to them, versus like if you're not, you're going to be like, haha, no, bye.
Yeah, cringy, whatever. So you mentioned you teach these like mini courses, and you've got one coming up at Juniper Brewing in Bowling Green, right?
Yeah, so for the next 3 Sundays from 7 to 8 at Juniper in Bowling Green, Ohio, we're covering. So the next one, we're going to be talking about the initial ask. So who's supposed to ask who? How should you go about that? How long should you wait? Then the week after that, we're talking about, this is going to be my favorite one, waiting, engaging interests. So all of the games that people play, like this person texted me, now I should wait 1.6 times the length of time.
The wait.
It's just so much stuff to keep in mind.
Right.
And then we're to finish it up with must-have and red flags. So like, how do you know what you should be looking for, who can be compatible with you, versus what are the things that you should be staying far, far away from and running the other way?
Yeah, and this is a lot different, you know, than dating apps, like the information that you're getting.
Swiping or,
because it's really kind of more of, you know, pop culture really, to where you're actually finding psychology of how does this actually work. So kind of break down the difference of going to this class rather than just, you know, going in blind.
Right. So I think with the thing that I've set the class up, so it's an hour long, and then the first part of it, the first 5-10 minutes, I give like the psychological research, the psychological perspective on the background of whatever topic we're talking about. And then the rest of our time is spent just in discussions and conversations. And people can come and they can ask questions, and that was one of the things that I loved on Sunday, was that they were asking questions. They're like, well, what about this? And I was like, okay, well, here, this is how you would go about this. This is how you would navigate it. Like, one of the questions was, should you, like, one of the guys was like, this girl I was dating, she, like, after 2 months, like, she was ready to get married and start having kids. And it was a little fast. And he was like, and I wanted to have more of a firm foundation of our relationship. He's like, did I make the wrong choice? Did I make the right choice? And I was like, always firm foundation first, and then children. And so you're able to come and ask those questions and hear other people's perspectives, and then you're also able to hear my perspective that's just very much research-based.
Yeah, you've done the research, you know how people's brains work and all of that. You know, and I think if we've been dating for a long time, we might think that something works, or like you mentioned, pickup lines. Another thing I feel like we hear a lot about is opposite opposites attract. You know, is that really the case?
That is definitely not the
Not
case.
the case.
Opposites do not attract. You really want to be looking for similarities. You want to be looking for someone who's compatible with you. And the reason why opposites don't attract is because if you have different values and different views, you're going to be having debates all of the time. And how exhausting is that? I mean, that's exhausting for me to be having debates all of the time. So you really want to look for someone who is strong where you are weak and you are strong where they are weak. So like I hate paperwork. Paperwork is my demise, and my husband's an engineer, so he's all about the paperwork.
Perfect.
So whenever I have paperwork, it's like, here you go, honey, you just do the paperwork. And so those compatible. But then it's like the opposite. Whenever we have to do something because of customer service, and again, he's an engineer, so we've all heard kind of jokes about engineers with their personalities, is like, I'm always in charge of customer service and meeting with people and those kind of things, because that's my strength.
So not an opposite by any means, but just strengths and you know, some areas where maybe not as strong. In my house, my husband's more of the math, and I'm more of the writing, and you know, things like that.
You want to complement one another and build that foundation, like you said.
Right. You want the complement because lasting high quality relationships are built on people from similar backgrounds and with similar values. That's really what you want to be focusing in on. Do you have the same values as the person that you are dating? And if you don't, then you probably want to kind of end it before it gets too far in.
Yeah, you're going to get down a road, and as you mentioned, lots of debates going on, maybe some arguing, especially if there's kids involved too, you know, and how you want to raise them.
That's a huge thing. Yeah. How do you want to do finances? How do you want to parent? All of those things start to come up, and then the more that you have debates and you have fights, and if you can't communicate well and you don't have good conflict resolution, well, then it's not going to end very well for that relationship.
And for those who want even more, you know, after this conversation, tell us again about the dates, the times, admission costs. How can we sign up to go to your classes?
Absolutely. So you can go to www.brightspotfamilies.com and you can sign up there. So it's for the next 3 Sundays from 7 to 8 p.m. at Juniper Brewing Company down in Bowling Green. Each session is $15.
Okay, yeah, go grab a drink and you know, have some
burger. Their burgers are delicious.
There you go.
There you go. And then a little bit of advice, not a bad night out.
You know, because it is hard.
It is hard.
And sometimes you do have those questions and or a lot of questions, and maybe you can get some peace of mind and clear through some of that. So.
And you can like Google it if you want, but then is it really going to give you that?
Just like asking a friend.
Asking a friend. Exactly. No, we'll talk to the experts. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.